Hi friends, this is Ravikant Miriala. Right, today let's have a small discussion on this amended definition of asset. Right, you all must be aware the old definition. Asset is a resource controlled by the entity arising from the past events, expected future economic benefits inflow to the entity. This was the old definition, and there were two conditions to recognize as an asset. One is probable future economic benefits inflows and cost or value that can be measured reliably. Yeah, this is all known to you, right? There is an amendment in the framework. Yeah, right now, the old name of the framework is Framework for Preparation of Financial Statements. Right now, that heading also is changed. Yeah, it is called now Conceptual Framework for Financial Reporting on Ind AS. Conceptual Framework for Financial Reporting on Ind AS, which is released by ICAI, and it is effective actually from 1/4/2020. And why are we discussing now? Because of this conceptual framework change, recently there is an amendment to Ind AS that is on 18th June 2021. 18th June 2021, there is an amendment. Yeah, only because of this change in the definition of asset, liability, equity. Okay, so many standards in the so many standards we went, there are small amendments have happened, but those amendments with respect to the change in conceptual framework is not that big amendment. Okay, amendment, everybody can understand it easily, but the basis for that amendment is this change in the conceptual framework. That's why I thought let me take a small video, right, on the asset definition. In my next definition, what is liability, next definition, what is, next video I will be looking into equity and etc things. Okay, let's start with first asset. Okay, see, asset, as per the new definition, it says it is a present economic resource, controlled by the entity as a result of past events. Yeah, slight change, but it has been beautifully explained by the institute. Yeah, very beautifully explained compared to the original framework what we studied, right? So here I can say present means, everybody, present means it exists, it's there, it's present on balance sheet date. Okay, what is economic resource? Yeah, there is a separate, what is economic resource? There's separate, further definition, explanation has been given. Economic resource is a right that has the potentiality, or it has the potential to produce economic benefits. Economic benefits, I can say money or money's worth in simple terms for understanding purpose. So it is a right. So economic resource means a right which can get, or which has the potentiality. If I say which can get, means I'm talking about certainty. No, certainty is not necessary. That's why they use the word which has the potentiality to get the economic benefits. Potentiality to produce the economic benefits. Maybe in reality it may not produce, in the future it may produce, may not produce, but I'm sure, I'm feeling that today on the balance sheet date it has the potentiality to produce the economic benefits. Means I'm going to get either money or money's worth. Okay, and the next word, in this definition, interlinked definition, we'll find three different words where we need to focus. The first word I say topic. The first topic what I say, that is right. The next topic which I would like to discuss, what is the potential to produce the economic benefits. And the next and last word which requires some attention is what is control. That is topic number 3. Okay, let's get in. What is right? Yeah, we said economic resource is a right that has the potentiality to produce the economic benefits. So what do you say right? Say I have an asset with me. What is the right? I can use it. I have right to use it. I have right to sell it. I have right to lease it. Right? I have right to exchange it. Right? I can use it whatever the fashion I want. That is the right. Okay. And here, how do you get the rights, sir? Basically, see, these rights, as usual, like as per the contracts, I will get the right. Maybe as per the law, legislation or something, I can get. And some other, it is not necessary in every place you need to have a contract or you need to have a legislation as per the law. It's not necessary actually. Yeah, let's take some small examples of it. Suppose you have, you have your own know-how. You created one technical software. Okay, some software, assume say accounting software you created. Fine. You are not selling the accounting software to other parties. Okay. And here, this accounting software has been used by your own company. Done. And which is not available to the public. Nobody can access it. That's it. Here there is no contract, here there is no law, but it is an asset because you have a right over it. I can use it. I am able to get the future economic benefits. Correct. Now, this software is going to produce future economic benefits to me. That's all. As far as it is controlled by me, as far as it is going to get future economic benefits to my entity, it is an asset to me. That's why they said beautifully, it's not necessarily, contracts or legislations all the time. And one more example, what I say, right? It is, you have to, for learning this word, you need to have an understanding of a liability. Right. If you must have heard one liability in India is constructive obligation. Yeah, if it is a constructive obligation to another entity, means as part of their customary practices, as part of their established practices or announcements. Okay, other party has an obligation, other party has a right, so that may lead to a right. The other party has an obligation to provide me services or goods or something which is going to be a right to me. Hope you understood. Yeah, I'm trying to explain the same thing once again. Other party has an obligation. When other party has an obligation, indirectly I may be having a right. Not necessary all the times, but yes, in some cases, other party has an obligation means I have a right. This right what I have may be able to produce the future economic benefits, then I am going to treat it as an asset because he is going to do it for sure. Correct? And I am going to receive it for sure. The economic benefits, yes, then it is an asset to me. And the next point, the forms of right. See, due to this right, sometimes what happens, I have a right, example, debtors. Okay, a prepaid expenses. When I say debtors, I have a right to receive money from that other party, from debtor customer. When I have right to receive from so and so person, that means other party has an obligation. So my right is going to create an obligation to other party. Correct? Yes. Suppose I have a debenture, investment in debenture of a Reliance company. I have a right to collect money from the other company after some time. So other company has an obligation because of my right. The other company has already got an obligation to pay me. That is one way. The other form of it is I have right does not mean that the other party has an obligation. It is not necessary. Correct, right? I have this asset. This is one calculator. Whatever it is, if not calculator, one computer here. I have a computer. Okay, it is my, yes, I have a right over my physical asset, that is computer, building, tangible, intangible, correct, and all these kind of things, right? It does not mean that it is creating a liability to other party, not necessary. Okay, hope you understood. So some rights will create an obligation to other party, some rights do not create an obligation to the other party. Next, every right what you have need not be an asset to you. Okay, because if you want to say it is an asset and you wanted to take it into your balance sheet, first and foremost these two things should be there. What are these two things? One, you must have control over it, and the other one, you must have what is that potential, that must be having the potentiality to produce the economic benefits to the company, which is not available to other parties. Have a look at this. We must have control and we must have the potentiality to produce the economic benefits beyond the economic benefits available to other parties. Correct. If I have a control over it, what do you mean by control? I can direct how to use, direct to use, and prevention from other party to use. Right? When I say this is my asset, I can use it the way I want it. Then I can put it into my operations and I can make money. And because I have a control over it, without my permission, nobody can use it for their purpose. Unless until I lease it to other party cannot use it for their operations or business. So that's why, I mean, I should have, when do I say, just because I have a right, every right you have is not going to become an asset in the balance sheet. So that means every right should be, I mean, jointly, I mean, you must be having the control and you should have, it is going to produce the future economic benefits to the entity, then only it is your asset in the balance sheet, right? Suppose there is some knowledge and know-how which is available in the public domain. Okay, it is made available. Assume here one small thing, coronavirus vaccine example, corona vaccine. Suppose as per the rule, assume, right now it is not there, but say example, government has the power. Even though the patent rights are with Bharat Biotech or Serum Institute or, I mean, different institutes in the world, if the government feel that, I mean, this, I mean, what is that? They can make this secret or the formula or the patent, they can make it public. Because if everybody has, if more than one company has the ability to produce the vaccine, they would have done this job. But the problem why they are not doing it, I mean, it can't be made by every company. It requires a special system, special equipment and everything. That's the reason they are not making it public. Suppose the minute government made this secret or the formula for this vaccine available to everybody, anybody can produce it and start selling it. Under that circumstance, it is not an intangible of Bharat Biotech or Serum Institute. That's what I mean. When can you say it's your asset? You should have the control over it and you should have the potentiality to produce the future economic benefits and compare it to others. And if it is available in the public domain, yes, you may be having a right to use the same formula and produce it, but you can't show it as an asset in your books. That's the beauty here. Okay, and an entity cannot have right to obtain economic benefits from itself. Yeah, read the line once again. I suggest, entity cannot have the right to obtain economic benefits from itself. Means what? My company, correct, my company cannot purchase my own shares and say it's my asset. Correct, we can't make out money from ourselves, from our own shares. Maybe our share value is going up and down. That's why if a company purchases its own, I mean, in India it is not permissible, but yes, outside India it is permissible. These kind of shares are called treasury shares, treasury stock. And even as per Ind AS, this treasury stock is not going to be presented as an asset because it doesn't make any sense and it doesn't satisfy the definition. You can't make as what is that, your own instrument as your asset. That's why as per Ind AS, you know, it's going to be deducted from the equity. Our own, yes, in India you cannot purchase, my company cannot purchase my own shares from the market. Outside India it is permitted. Even if it is permitted, that stock cannot be presented as an asset, that will be reduced from the equity. That's what they're trying to say here indirectly, right? Sometimes what happens, I don't know whether I have rights, I do not have rights, there may be some uncertainty. This framework, this conceptual framework has given separate guidance, which I am going to discuss it in my next video with respect to recognition criteria and measurement criteria. Mostly, like, even though you have little uncertainty, maybe sometimes it can be achieved by giving correct information as a disclosure. Anyhow, let's discuss it in depth in separate video. That's what I feel better. Okay. And the next, my topic is potentiality, or potential to produce future economic benefits. Okay, I mean, it should have the potentiality. That's what I said. It has the potentiality does not mean the economic benefits will come for certainly this amount. Not necessary. That is what they told very clearly. It does not need to be certain or even likely, right, in the future. But if you feel that it has the potentiality to produce, fine. As on today, you can make it an asset, right? Right is, as you know, right is an economic resource. You can recognize it, even though if the probability of production of economic benefits is a little low. Yeah, even though it is, I mean, economic resource is an asset. Yes, recognize it. Even though it has the less probability does not lead to possibility. It is not, we don't mean that it is possibility, it is less probability. Above 50% only, still I am talking, but it is lesser probability, not, I mean, possibility. Still you can recognize it. And with respect to this, we will be discussing in the next video on recognition and measurement topic. I am going to discuss it. Okay, right, next. And its value, correct. Now, what is the value of this, sir? What is the value of it is at present on the balance sheet date? What is the potentiality that it can get? Maybe that is not the potentiality it's going to get. Suppose I have a share in hand. It is held for trading purpose. As per Ind AS 109, we must have classified it as FVTPL, fair value through profit and loss. When it is classified as fair value through profit and loss, what is the fair value on that date is going to be considered. Maybe subsequently when you sell it, you may get more than that, or you may get less than that. That is not necessary. And as on the balance sheet date, when you have rights over it and how much it can produce, based on that we are going to measure its value, not exactly what it is going to achieve in the future. It's based on expectation on the balance sheet date. Next, yeah, some expenditures and acquiring asset. See, you are spending some money. If you are spending money, that not necessarily it is supposed to be an asset, because sometimes you will spend money if you feel that we incurred some money, it is not going to be useful to produce the economic benefits, then obviously we don't recognize as an asset. If you remember, Ind AS 38 intangible assets. Under that, research and development. Research expenses we have incurred. I'm not sure whether I'm going to get it or not, because future economic benefits are possible. No one can say it is probable. That's why the standard says transfer it to P&L. Even development expenses also, as on 31st March, if you can demonstrate that it has the potentiality to get the future economic benefits, then only it is going to be asset. Just because you spent, every amount you spent need not become an asset. Again, it's subject to our overall definition. Okay, and the last topic for the discussion, that is control. I said control. When do I say I have control? Right, I can say I have the control, the present ability, means as on the balance sheet date I should have the ability to direct the usage. I can direct, I can say use it for this purpose or that purpose, let us sell it, let us use it, let us rent it. I have the power to direct it. Okay, that's what. And I have the power to prevent the other parties from directing the use. Means I can prevent other person cannot use it for their purpose without my permission. Then only I can say it's, I mean, it is under it is under the control of the entity. Okay, next. If you have, I mean, if you are an agent, it is an agent relationship. An asset is under custody of yours. Custody of yours does not mean that control of yours. Then obviously you cannot call it as your asset. Okay, and subscribe to the channel, and so that you will get the notification for a next video. I mean, next video is going to be my liability and equity and recognition criteria and etc will be discussed. And thank you.